I think I can honestly say I didn't expect it to go this way. It is June 9th, and I'm giving myself 1 month to make this video. If this is not up on July 9th, then something has gone awry or terribly wrong. I have a loose idea of what I want to talk about in this video, but I'm really excited to discover that along the way. Let me give you the brief outline and we'll see if we stick through. We got dealing with being 25. I've been 25 now for a month. It is as terrible as you would imagine. Being spread too thin, inspiration, and this is kind of the key one here. Is it better to be a master of one thing or a sort of jack of all trades? Please, I need an answer, because it feels like growing up, most of the people I look up to and admired were really good for doing one thing. But now the people that reach the top are good because they do multiple things. And I don't know if I can wrap my head around that yet. And I don't know what I'm most happy doing. I think I spend a lot of my time thinking about what I'm not doing, what I should have started doing earlier, and what I could have mastered by now. If your life is anything like mine, you've been in your room for a good part of the past year. And if anything, your room is a reflection of who you are, what you value, your role models even. The first great role model in my life was my dad. His one thing was leadership, leading camp, leading in church, and leading in music. This is his old guitar, and although I can play a little, I never mastered it. Books. I'm talking, look, George R.R. Martin. Just because the show fell off into a fiery abyss does not mean George is not writing some great material. These books were absolutely fantastic. And we got Neil Simon, who was just a huge influence on me in high school. Neil Simon was a playwright who wrote about, life. And sometimes life is messy, but also life can be extremely funny, which Simon really pulled off. Bone, oh my God. This was the first one I read in its entirety, was just the master set, all of it as one collection. Liam Hunter in middle school let me borrow his copy, and I think I read it all in a weekend, and I highly recommend it. It's literally just Jeff Smith, one person who mastered this thing, storytelling in such a beautiful way. And of course, movies. I'm talking, listen, Silence, slept on, Scorsese, fantastic. Lady Bird, a classic for a reason. Greta Gerwig knows our hearts and what we hold dear to ourselves. Phantom Thread, PTA was done dirty. If you haven't seen Phantom Thread, give yourself a watch. Beale Street Could Talk, Fargo, Grand Budapest Hotel, Inside Llewyn Davis. I'm talking Moonlight. There's so many fantastic stories out there to be told. And although I do enjoy the visual art form, I've been making videos for a while now, I don't think I've fully mastered it. It's something I enjoy, it's something I will continue to do, but for now. And that scares me, mastering something, because I'm getting older and I can see how quickly the world changes. And if I put myself in a corner of mastering just one thing, what if I can't change? I think that's why none of my content has been consistent longer than a year. I haven't worked on a project longer than a year. These photos on the wall behind me are from a project where I made a video a week for a year. I have albums of photos where I took one Polaroid a day for a year. My longest relationship was not much longer than a year. So perhaps the biggest question, the one I should be asking, is how do you commit? Oh my goodness, hello. How have you been?
Pretty good. Busy, but finally getting a little bit of a break, which is nice.
Much needed. You are so constantly on the go. I see you posting stuff all the time. I'm like, how is she doing that?
Not well, not easily.
So how can you fully commit to one thing?
This is actually kind of interesting because I was in grad school recently. We'll have visiting artists come. We had one artist come, incredibly successful, where I aspire to be one day. She said experimenting, playing around, doing all of those things is great. But if you continue to do that, you'll never be able to get it to a place where it is your whole thing. Mm-hmm. You know, if you want to become good at something, you have to do it when it's boring.
That's a good point.
Yeah, you can't wait for inspiration, and you can't just do it when it's fun.
And there has to be that consistency. That makes sense.
I was working in some job. I think I talked to you about that last time, and it was so boring. I hated it so much. And so I've gone through the list of all the different things I can do to make sure I never have a boring job again.
Yes.
In terms of like monetary, like incomes and everything, I don't really make anything that different from when I was working in like those jobs. And I work probably double the amount that I used to, but I have so much fun.
Yeah.
I'd much rather be in my boat right now, like just having fun with what I do.
I love that so much. And I think that's how you know you found something that you want to master, that you want to put your whole heart into, is when the hours don't really matter. And I think that pairs nicely with some other advice I've heard, that if you work at something every day, it's impossible to get worse at it, which sounds so simple. How could you mess that up? This is not a uncommon experience. Me in front of a laptop at 3 a.m. And this is even before the whole stay inside thing. Now, don't get me wrong, I very much enjoy the internet, quite a lot. But if anything, I've discovered the internet is very good at putting new stuff in front of you all the time. And if you're a creative person, this is very exciting because there's always something new around the corner. And I think there lies in the problem. You spend so much time discovering these new interests. It's a domino effect. One thing leads to another, that it takes away any actual time you would put into any single one of these interests. Which kind of brings me back to, should I be multidisciplined? Should I juggle a lot of skills if I'm not going to be particularly good at any one thing? If I'm spending this much time looking, time slipping by, and before I know it, take Blond Radio, for example. It's a project where, yes, I'm doing a bunch of things, but I don't feel like I'm doing one thing exceptionally well. If you're not aware, in 2020, I started interviewing random strangers from TikTok, purely out of boredom, but also as a soft inspiration from the Midnight Gospel. And this seemed like the perfect combination of all the things I enjoy: making videos, having meaningful conversations, and putting something bigger than myself into this world. And even though I feel like I'm not gaining an exceptional skill, the project has an exceptional outcome, which are the people. The people I've met through Blond Radio have changed my life in such a positive way. Sometimes I struggle to recognize myself from before. What's one thing Blond Radio has provided that you found you have applied to your life outside of the Discord and the community?
I think the big question is, what life do I have outside of the Blond Radio server? Using these opportunities to be able to spread that positivity, being a better listener, and carrying that forward into life, wherever I may go, whoever I may touch in the future.
Honestly, it's like been helping me open up. I was able to talk to a few of my brothers about stuff recently. Like, I didn't even think I would ever talk to my brothers about that I wasn't straight, but here I am.
It's made me more sociable, and it's made me a little bit more polite. It's really interesting that this little community that I've only been in for like 2 months has already kind of had that effect on me.
Blond Radio keeps me grounded, and it keeps my humanity. I don't know how to say it.
Like I talked to you about when you mentioned like, oh, you're really good at looking at silver linings. It made me realize I was good at looking at it for other people, but not myself. I've definitely been trying to apply that more to my life.
I am busy and I'm not able to hang out as much as I want to, but you guys are keeping me going. Like when I get stressed out, I'm like, okay, what would these guys say? What would they think if I told them about what I was struggling with right now?
It's just been very like healing. Be nice to literally everyone you meet, because you never know, they might just be like me, who was in like a very deep dark place and they were just out trying to make new friends.
I don't know how to phrase this, but like a love for other people. It's not like I never loved anyone, but it's more like I have so much love in my heart now every time I meet a new person or every time I hear somebody's story. I think it's kind of like I stopped taking everyone for granted.
And even though that's the goal, it's the 100 other small things that are behind the scenes that you don't really think about before you start making videos. Did you anticipate the amount of work you'd be doing with Keep It Wholesome before it kind of took off?
Not at all. I mean, I didn't even think it'd be a business at first. I feel like you start things with very pure intentions. You have no expectations, you're not doing a lot of work, but I think, yeah, you can get kind of caught in the cycle where it does become a lot of work. I feel like a lot of people aren't aware of that, or like how much work is actually put into like the TikTok you see. Yeah.
Would you say being competent at many skills is a skill in itself?
It's less of a skill, at least from my perspective, and it's more of like a drive thing. I think for any person it's really hard to like balance all these different things. I got super overwhelmed by everything I'm managing now and all these different things. but I'm not sure if I'd call it a skill. I don't know. That's kind of interesting. I knew you had asked me this question, but I'm still like debating it in my head. It probably is in some regard where your brain can like, I don't know, just like process all these different things. But at least from my perspective or what I've experienced, I would say it's more of like most people won't try to learn new skills or do different things, which is fine. Because you know the people that try a bunch of new things, you know, and you know they're going to keep trying new things and like that. Right. So maybe it's almost like a personality trait. I don't know. I kind of went off a little there.
Look, and maybe Simon's right. Maybe it is a personality thing. And maybe I have it. Because not only are my interests splitting my attention, it's exactly like Simon said, I love finding new things to try. Photography. This is my camera I got 7 years ago, and I still like to shoot today when I can. That led me to video, a medium I'm obsessed with, which of course ties into learning editing. And then there's guitar, reading. I even started messing around with painting recently. I went through a Gundam phase last year. I'm still buying vinyls, even though I don't own a real player. And then there's stuff like games. I've recently gotten into Project Diva. It's a rhythm game based around vocaloids, but there's something more to it. There's something, I think that's it. Vocaloids are basically these huge audio banks that producers can use to automate or replicate singing. They've had a tremendous impact because although you may not know a lot about vocaloids, you probably know about the most popular one, Hatsune Miku. And it's not just the music. Producers will often create or collaborate to make these stylized music videos for the songs. The community is about being the jack of all trades to create something new and unique. And maybe I can take these newfound interests and skills and turn them into something bigger as well. Maybe this is what I was looking for. Okay, I think I've started to figure out this Vocaloid software. It's pretty intuitive. I think I'm going to use this to cover a song I've been listening to a lot recently. But I also want visuals, so I'm relearning Illustrator. I think I need vector-based art. This is going to take a while, but I think it's worth it. And that's it. I think I'm done.
Trying to be funny and stuck in a room. There is much more to say about it. Can one be funny when stuck in a room? Feeling trying to get something out of it. Try making faces. Try telling jokes, making little sounds. I was a kid who was stuck in a room. There is much more to say about it when you're a kid and you're stuck in your room. You plan a kid to get out of it. Try making faces. Try telling jokes, making little sounds. Well, look who's inside again. Went out to look for a reason to hide again. Well, Daddy, you found it. Now come out with your hands up. We've got you surrounded.
It's cool. It's cool. It's a lot of fun to make, but I still feel incredibly hollow. This video's been all over the place, hasn't it? I think, like me, it got a little distracted. I've been trying to find this exceptional outcome by either honing in on one thing or juggling multiple. But there's really only one exceptional thing I've encountered while making this video. Hey, I was wondering if you'd be down to help me with a song cover. I know. Yeah, it's gonna be cool. I'm asking the Discord homies to send me a video of them in their room. Hey, I was wondering, can I come over and film something with you quick? I'm never gonna be the best at everything, and I don't think I want to, but I do feel pretty good at this one thing: collaboration. Trying to do it all is never gonna be the best option. I think the truest way to experience this world is to connect with the people in it. If I'm gonna master anything, I want it to be that, the thing that makes me happy. That was perfect. Do you want to do one more for...
Ready? Are you just recording?
Yeah.
Trying to be happy and I'm stuck in a room. There isn't much more to say about it. Can one be happy when stuck in a room? Begin and try to get something out of it. Try making faces.
stuck in his room. There isn't much more to say about it when you're a kid and you're stuck in your room. You'll do any old shit to get out of it. Try making faces, try telling jokes, making little sounds. Well, look who's inside again. Went out to look for a reason to hide again. Well, buddy, you found it. Now come out with your hands up, we've got you surrounded. It's not in one thing or multiple. It's finding what makes you happy. I know that's easier to say than do, but if I can find it while stuck in a room, then I know you can too. Yeah, we officially did it, July 9th. So congrats, team. I want to take a couple seconds here at the end and thank some people that really deserve it. First up, Quinn, Mia, and Cam for playing, singing, and mixing that final cover we did. Thank you so much for your time and energy. Next up, I want to thank Abby, who introduced me to the world of Vocaloids. The Miku cover I made of Stuck in a Room was literally the first thing I made in this project. And finally, everyone who participated in the interviews or sent me some footage, I really appreciate it. Even if we couldn't fit everyone in, just seeing that you were willing to participate and make something this big and cool was really special. And thank you. A big reason why I create is to connect with people, so thanks for coming along for the ride. I don't know if we'll see any videos of this scale moving forward anytime soon, but it's nice to know that I can do them. They are possible. But until then, find that happiness. I'll see you soon, and thanks for tuning in.